Hey everyone, Chip here with Solis Lighting and Electrical. Today we're going to talk about the app called Celica. This is an app on your phone that everybody's going to have to get familiar with because it is going to be used as your time card and a way of dispatching work orders to you. We are trying to go completely paperless. We know that that won't be completely possible, but we're going to do our best shot here at it. So Celica is going to be used for your time cards. It's going to be used for your all the work that we're going to dispatch to you, and keeping notes of the work that you've done, inputting how much work you did, and any material that you installed, and then clicking or changing the status of it so that you can get that sent back to the office and then get any more work. So it should be on your home screen. There should be two apps that you find on your phone. One of them should be the Cam Scanner app, and the other should be the Celica DB Anywhere. All right, so for the purpose of this video tutorial, we're going to work with the Celica DB Anywhere and show you how this works. All right, so the first step is to make sure that you are clocking in and clocking out. This is going to replace your time card. We're doing away with the paper time cards. So here you'll see a way of punching in and punching out. Your work will be, once you clock in and clock out, you'll be able to view your time card. Anytime you start at the beginning of the day, punch in. If you go on lunch or a personal break or in the day, you're going to clock out. But real simple, real easy, punch in. All right? And when you're done, you can punch out. And it keeps a record, timestamp of that. And anytime you can go back and you can punch back in if you want. All right? And you'll notice that punch out is still open. Now, we'll punch out, and you can keep doing that throughout the day. The other thing we'll want to make sure that you do is get familiar with where to sync and using the control numbers. Now, here in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see 3 bars, and that's a way of syncing the phone. So any work that you've finished or completed, or any new work that you're waiting for, you're going to press and press the sync button. This will take a minute. We have a couple records that are on the phone already, just a couple test calls that we'll walk through. But the phone, as it walks you through it, hopefully it's pretty simple and pretty easy to follow along, you can generally press the back button to get out of anything that you made a mistake on. But syncing the phone is something you're going to want to do on a regular basis. It takes a minute, doesn't really take that long in the grand scheme of things, as it's sending the data back and forth to the servers back at Solis. So you'll want to maybe start your day this way. Maybe just before you go on lunch break, sync it, maybe at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day. Just get those records synced with your phone. And what that'll do is that'll add any new calls, and it'll eliminate any calls that you've completed. All right, so once you're done, press OK. All right, so let's get our time started now. We'll press punch in. Time record is stamped. And we have 2 choices here. We can look at control numbers that have been issued to us, or maybe perhaps doing some other work, maybe working in a warehouse, or maybe driving to pick up a vehicle, something that's not related to a work order or a control number. Our control numbers are unique, and this is what we're going to work on and look at today. But click control number that's been issued to you. Here you can see we have a test of 3 different calls, a CVS and a couple Barnes & Nobles. Those calls, it'll show us here the client site. If the site city is listed here, it'll show that. It'll show the call type. We should be able to scroll across. It'll show the promise date and perhaps, again, the control number that's associated with that work. All right, so let's see if we can scroll back across. Go back to, we'll just take this second one here, this Barnes & Noble. It's an exterior PM call. And we want to select the job. Here it'll give you any information with regard to that job. It'll tell you what sort of work needs to get done. It'll show you the job the customer number, and it'll show you the unique control number that's associated with that too. You will pull this up when you finished your previous job, because you're going to use this button here where it says Start Travel, and you'll use that to start travel time to this job site. Turn the phone off, and you can put it in your pocket and travel now to the next job site, or to this job site. Once you get there and you're ready to start working, real simple, start the job. Now that's for day one. If you have to return for any reason, you'll start putting your travel time here. As it's set up right now, we only have the ability to be able to give you one return. So if you need more, it's really not a problem. Just let your service coordinator know, and they will set up another work ticket for you to be able to get that information, or to be able to record your time. All right, here you'll also notice two things. You'll notice site notes and client notes. I'll click on client notes for a minute. This is just generic information. Again, this doesn't have anything written in it. It's just because it's a test. But if there was generic information about the client, such as IVR instructions, or perhaps they want to make sure that you use a certain lamp color throughout their store. Maybe there's a way of turning on the EMS system. Just general client notes you'll find here that would apply to all their locations. You can get back to the previous screen at any time by just pressing the return button. And then we can look at site notes. These are notes specific to the site that you would probably want to know before you get there. Might be such things as perhaps reminding you to bring a certain lamp type. Might be reminders of where to find the photocell or the time clock. Maybe there's a unique lamp that at this site that you won't find at any of the other customer sites, and you want to make sure you bring some of those. Well, this is where you find that information. If there's some site notes that you feel should be in here, then make sure that you write or email your service coordinator and tell them what those site notes should be. They can easily add that into the system, and next time you pull it up, those site notes, those reminders will be there for you or anybody else that goes to that job site, okay? All right, you can press return, get back to the job, and now that we've started our time, we're ready to start installing some material. So down here in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see where it says Start Job. That's really just to start installing the material. We'll press OK. And here we have a way to start installing new material. Now if you have, first we're going to look at these green buttons. And we have a new job or some new material that we need to install. Just click New. Up here, it should list your name in the upper right-hand corner, who's the guy doing the work. This says after hours because that's what this phone's set up for. But otherwise, your name should be up here. And then we'll just go right through the list here. Start from the top. Location. It has some preset boxes that you can choose from. If it was, say, in the parking lot, click Parking Lot. If it was a certain lamp type, you can click that, and by clicking the lamp type, it automatically pops up the NAED code number. You could do it in reverse too. You could also show the NAED number, and the item number would automatically be populated over here. If you know the quantity, you could list it here. Installed 2 lamps. Go to Next, and we'll look at the source. So the source, did the customer give us the material? Did Sylvania Lighting Services give us the material? Or is the material something that we bought here at Solis? All right. So click Solis. That tells us where to relieve inventory or where we got the product. Make sure that you're always accurate on the quantity. We find that many times the technicians short or can't quite remember the material that they installed, and so as a result we don't get to bill or invoice the customer for the appropriate material, and we lose revenues, and our inventory gets goofed up. So it's important that you make sure that that's accurate. We also want to list any material that was removed. So if you remove something, it's important that we note that so we can charge the customer for recyclables and charge them for recycling this material. So if it's the exact same material that you removed, just click Same. Pops up, shows that we removed it. And when you're done, just press Save. All right. So here it gives us the opportunity now to install maybe some more material at this location. Maybe again in the parking lot or on the building. We found that we need some more lights. Here we have an example. This time we'll go and we'll pull up the NAAD code. Maybe there's some wall lights that we installed. As an example, we could go in here and put in 21998. I just happen to know that that's for some FO32 lamps. And if you click that, the lamp type is automatically populated here. And we put in 2 of those, and we can click Source, again Solis, and if we removed 2 lamps from the same customer facility, we can click Same. All right, and press Save. All right, so we're pretty much done now installing the material. You're ready now to finish the job. You can click Review, and here it will pop up kind of a long page. You can scroll through this whole thing, but here it will show you the work that was dispatched to you. It'll show you the travel time, start time. If it was day 2, it'll show you the second amount of work that you did here. You have the number of techs that you can list here. So if it was just you, press 1. All right, and then it'll list the materials that you installed. You scroll through and review any of this information. Now here you have an opportunity to put in a description of work. And so by clicking this here, you could start typing if you wanted to. You could start typing a complete description. Now, it's important that we have a detailed job description of what you actually did. Because maybe you spent 3 hours on the job site, but you only installed 1 or 2 lamps. Well, it's important to note why. Because there will probably be some questions. Why did it take you so long just to install 1 or 2 lamps? And you can put all that information here. You can either type it in, or you could use the microphone button down here in this corner, and you can speak to this, and it should automatically type everything that you say. So let's give it a shot, and let's see if it works here. Installed 2 lamps in the parking lot poles. Period. Installed 2 4-foot FO32 lamps in the under canopy lights at the front of the building. All right, so there might need to be a little bit of editing that you need to do here. For instance, maybe poles wasn't spelt right, so if you just click on the word, it should automatically pop up a couple options here. You can change that to poles. Maybe where it says the building, you can change it. You can move this little cursor around and you can edit this. If it didn't get maybe the lamps right, you can click here and we'll edit this. All right. And you're happy with it, and it's got everything that you need here. We're done with the tech notes. Now say, for instance, we want to get the manager's signature. We want them to sign off that we did this work, and you've reviewed with the manager what we did. You showed them the lamps that we installed and any ballast that we may have installed. You showed them when you started the day, how much travel time you had, and how much work we did, and the job description. Now we go and we meet with the customer, and we want their signature. So say we meet with Bob. All right. And we need to get a signature from Bob. So we can click on this, and Bob can sign his name. All right. Once he's signed the name, we're going to click the three little lines down here in the lower right-hand corner, and we're going to click Done. All right. So we got Bob's signature, we got Bob's name, and now maybe Bob wants wants this work order emailed to them. They would like to have a copy of this work order. Well, remember, since we're going paperless, can't just hand them a copy of it anymore, but you can email it to them, and you could press email, and it would pop up. Oops, got to save it. Yep. And now we can email it to the client, to the customer. We can send as a PDF. We can save as PDF. So this will give you an option of sending it right here to the client and sending it to the customer. Okay, so make sure that you get familiar with this here. We're going to send it as a PDF, and we're going to use the current range. Going to pop this up, and it gives you the ability to be able to send it via email. You just put in the customer's email and sends it directly to them. Okay, all right. But otherwise, you've completed that work, and once you press exit to the job list or exit to the time card, it exits out of that job and gets you back to your time card. You're still logged in, and now you have the ability to take more work if you want. That job is now highlighted as red. The job is complete, and once you press sync, it will now update the server back at the Solis office, and it will eliminate that job and give you any additional work that perhaps you're waiting on. All right, guys, appreciate your time on this. Appreciate everybody's hard work. It's important to note that when you use this system, you're not going to have to send work tickets or control numbers and work tickets to the email address called work tickets. You don't have to do that anymore. Once you press sync, that's done automatically. It saves it appropriately and sends that out directly to our servers. All right. Thanks, guys. Get familiar with it. Get used to it. We'll send you some updates on this. And if you have any questions, please feel free to call the office and let us know. All right. Thank you. Take care.